But I do think it's important for people to try all these new things, see if you have an affinity for it, if you're any good at it, and if you're not, maybe outsource whatever, or find a friend that can do it for you.
Yeah, you can't just, I tell people and encourage people, always be learning something new. Keep your marketable skills up to date, because your stable job may not be the stable job you think it is. Or
Right.
You've been sharing some of your opinions about this whole Sinclair deal. So Sinclair is the owner of lots of local TV stations, and recently they had all the anchors read the same thing about basically warning people about fake news and to contact them if viewers felt that the content was not fair and balanced.
Yeah.
What do you think about this whole situation where you do have, station employees being told by station management and higher ups, to do things like that?
Well, I mean, it was a little interesting. I mean, to me, I don't know. I think, wasn't it Deadspin that was the one that put together this compilation video of all these different anchors and reporters reading the exact same script. So obviously it looked scripted. It looked robotic. It looked like it came down from on high, that, it's a dangerous time we live in, or whatever it was that they were saying. And I don't know, it made a lot of people uncomfortable, because it told them that, yeah, there are people that they're told what to say. That's the bottom line. They're told what to say, and then they have to say it. And I guess there are some stations that refuse to do it, which, that's interesting. I mean, that actually, I think, gives them maybe a little bit more integrity than doing it. But I know that, these major corporations, they want their hands on your social media. I had one company ask me for my password to my Instagram account.
You're like, what? No.
I'm like, they're like, oh, we just want your analytics and stuff. And I'm like, why? I mean, how does that help me at all? I don't know. I mean, it made me a little uncomfortable, because of course some people use it for messaging. And I mean, there are private messages on there that I shouldn't have to give anybody my private information, but I know that people are giving up that information because they want to keep their jobs. They're like, oh.
Yeah. And I can tell you from coming from the TV side, that sort of thing is not even just a Sinclair thing. Lots of station ownership groups, kind of dictate from the top what happens.
Right.
And that's something that the employees have very little control over. I just talked to my friend Joe Gervin, who was a sports guy, and he was sharing how his personal life was pretty limited by his employer. And that can be a little scary, but at the same time, I also want to tell people and encourage people to always give yourself an exit plan. Like if you do get fired, or if your job becomes very unbearable, or if you do disagree with your employer and you want to get out, there are things you can do to make the situation a little bit better for yourself, like saving up a lot of money so that you're not in a bad financial situation. And also a coworker years ago, which is something you're obviously doing, a coworker advised me, is like, always have several hustles going on at once.
Yeah. I think that's become the new normal, or what should be. And, I've encouraged colleagues or former colleagues of mine. I'm like, get a nice microphone, you have your laptop, get the equipment you need to do voice work or whatever, so that you don't have those golden handcuffs on, which I did. I was like, I can't quit. Yeah, I could have. I should have, actually, but I didn't think I could, because you get yourself used to living a certain lifestyle with whatever money you're making. And then if you take a job that pays you less, it's like, it's a hard thing to get out of. Yeah. Now I'm like watching Netflix documentaries on minimalism, I'm like, I don't need a place to live, whatever, who cares?
Like, I don't need a car lease. I'm good.
Yeah.
I think there's something to that. When you're in the situation, it feels hopeless. Like you feel like you're trapped. But I think when you're on the other side, you do realize you have a voice, and you can make choices.
Right.
And that's what I would tell people who are worried about things like the Sinclair situation is, there are some things you can't control on that side, but the things that are within your control, do something about it. Make sure you have other skills that you can get out of the business if you want to. For instance, I have been working on a YouTube channel for 3 years. And it's at that point that I was finally starting to make any sort of money to be able to make a transition.
Right.
Had I not done that, I wouldn't be in this situation. I wouldn't even be talking to you right now.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing. Like, I mean, with voiceover and HSN, I'm not an overnight success in any regard with TV or radio or anything like that. I've been doing this for years. And so, like when I posted the stuff about HSN, going on there for the first time, I mean, obviously I was very excited and everything, but or even if I posted a video from being at West End or a picture, people think they're just going to make one phone call and don't realize or appreciate the money and the time that I've invested for years, just trying to make this happen. So that's why I always tell people, like, start now. It's like you said, you need all those side hustles to really sustain yourself and your career so that they know they don't gotcha. You know what I mean? That you're not, I don't know, that you have the ability to support yourself.
Yeah.
No matter who has gotcha.
And if you start your side hustle after you've left your job, again, it's going to take time to build up. So you have to start it now. Yeah, you have to do something on the side, have some other plan B or something. But to the people in broadcasting, this is a very tumultuous time. And TV's going through a lot of what radio has already gone through, which is the loss of relevance to new media outlets.
Exactly.
A lot of people are getting their news from the Philip DeFranco show on YouTube. And,
I've never even heard of him, but, or Facebook, you know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Yeah. They're not turning on the nightly news the way that they used to, I think, Yeah. So it is interesting. You're so right about, it's not just even relevance. It's just the sheer number of different places where people are getting their news.